Oh my gosh, okay, you guys, this is not a drill. The Americans are gone. They're gone.
I'm gonna be out of a job in the next 3 days if this TikTok ban goes through.
And to the US government, I'm never forgiving you for this.
Imagine waking up one day and finding out this. Your world of creativity, connectivity, and endless scrolling is suddenly gone. This was the reality of over 170 million TikTok users in America on the 19th of January, after the US government implemented a TikTok ban, which we know is one of the most popular apps in the world. But why? What does this mean, and where do we go from here? Hi, my name is Miriam and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My channel is all about social commentary, educational and motivational content. So if this is the type of content you like, feel free to subscribe to my channel. So let's get into it. So why is TikTok now banned in the US? The US government claims that TikTok is a national security threat. Your concern is with the TikTok parent company ByteDance. Your concern is that this Chinese parent company could access users' data. We're talking about different sorts of data, your location, your biometric information, and simply what you watch. And the US government claims that this could be weaponized in a way that we're not even aware of yet. But here's what is interesting. A lot of people are claiming that this is less about security threats and more about control.
By now, you all should know the real reason as to why TikTok is getting banned in the next few days. I've said it like 1,000 times before. Maybe it's because of my accent. That's the reason why it's not landing. But this should be especially concerning for anyone who is pro-Palestinian, because what I'm about to show you is going to prove everything that I've been saying over the past few months with regards to restricting the freedom of speech and expression in America.
Which is some wonder why there was such overwhelming support for us to shut down potentially TikTok or other entities of that nature. If you look at the postings on TikTok and the number of mentions of Palestinians relative to other social media sites, it's overwhelmingly so among TikTok broadcasts. So I'd note that's of real interest, and the president will get the chance to make act.
Not one mention of security risks or related challenges, not one mention of China, but instead Mitt Romney wants to bring emphasis to the dramatic push of pro-Palestinian creators and the pro-Palestinian cause on this app, and how successful pro-Palestinian creators have been in terms of enacting real change over the voices of those that are pro-Israel. And we're not even talking about the fact that this is only one piece of the pie, because we all know that the real reason as to why they want to ban TikTok is if they can't buy it themselves. Little Elon Musk boy over there wants to be able to reap the benefits of the most powerful app on this planet. And he knows that he will continue to fall short in comparison on X so long as Twitter is still roaming free in America. At this stage, you are a dullard if you think that they are honestly banning it because of security-related risks, as if that was ever an issue to begin with, ever.
So this brings up a question that, is this really about a security threat, or are they banning it because they can't dominate the platform itself? And this is where the discourse and the arguments that we're seeing on many social media platforms comes into play. This is a question. Is this really about privacy, or is it about the geopolitical power struggles that we're seeing between two of the biggest superpowers in the world? And after all, a lot of people are criticizing the US for its own censorship and the right to, free speech, etc., because they are the ones who outright criticize communist China for their censorship ways of doing things. But now, because they probably cannot dominate the TikTok platform, they're using this as a way to punish TikTok and hence not allow its users to use the platform. When TikTok American users opened their platforms on January the 19th, this stated that it's only a temporary ban. They say that they're hoping to renegotiate with the US government, even going as far as offering the US government to open up a store of all US data domestically with increased oversight. But do you think this will be actually enough to decrease the tension between the TikTok founders and the US government? And what happens to creators, businesses, communities on TikTok if TikTok never gets restored. And some people now are already feeling the impacts of not being able to use TikTok as your sole platform or as a platform at all.
And to the US government, I'm never forgiving you for this. And I'm never going to trust you ever again, because you just, like that, took away millions of people's income and livelihood. And who does that? So I'm never trusting you ever again with anything.
So I'm starting to give up hope that there's going to be a Hail Mary moment at the end of this that's going to save this app.
I feel so dumb coming on the internet and crying about an app, but the fact is that this has been a sense of community for me for years now, and it got me through really, really hard times in my life. The pandemic, losing my job, all of that, getting divorced, like all of this crap that's happened to me in the last 5 years since I've been on here. Hours and hours and hours of time I put into creating stuff for this platform. And I'm not the biggest creator on here. Like, I'm not like, I don't have 3 million followers or 10 million followers, but I do have a platform. It's the biggest platform I have. And I worked really hard to make it. On top of that, it's been a source of income for me for going on 3 years now. First, it was just a little bit, but then it got to be more. I'm not like rich off of it, but it has significantly helped my income every month. Hi, Halloumi. And it's been consistent enough that like I've been able to rely on it. So like on top of being just sad that I'm losing my creative outlet and my platform, I'm like worried about like what I'm gonna do financially.
TikTok is not just a social media platform for them. It's a sense of community, as I said, creativity, and a way to get an income that they probably didn't have access to before. Whether, as you can see, it was a small business promoting their products or influencers partnering with brands, this economic impact of the TikTok ban is really massive. And let's not forget the jobs, right? TikTok employs thousands of people from the US. So what happens to them now? And being from the UK is not just the US that is going to feel this ban, right?
I'm going to be out of a job in the next 3 days if this TikTok ban goes through. All of my TikTok analytics, followers, whatever the hell you want to call it, are US-based girlies, okay? US-based girlies. And quite frankly, I don't want to be unemployed in the next 3 days. Mr. Trump, Mr. President, if you can hear this, please overturn your shitty little policy.
A lot of UK content creators may have a huge following from the US side. If the US citizens are not able to use the TikTok platform, that may potentially impact the income of, UK citizens. I don't have a huge following per se, but I can imagine those creators who have millions of followers or even tens of thousands of followers, that this may greatly impact your income. And it's not just about that. It's about the fact that that community that we had, when you look at the TikTok platform, we know is dominated by US citizens, right? Them telling your stories. I feel like US citizens are a lot more open than the British citizens. So we're going to miss, their gist, their conversations, them going on live. It just made the TikTok platform so fun. When even looking at the beginning of TikTok, right? How those dances were introduced, right? They allowed us to get out of that, during the Panini era, right? They allowed us to get out of that depressive state where we could all do challenges together. And most of the trendy music that we see, if it wasn't for the TikTok platform, a lot of these small musicians wouldn't be able to have the streams or the platform that they have now. And that's all based on TikTok, right? So this ban goes beyond just what the US government classify as a national security threat. Is impacting people's livelihoods, and that I feel was not taken into account. So I just want to zoom out for a minute, right? The US has often positioned itself as the land of the free and a land of freedom where people can have political free speech, etc. But this TikTok ban seems like the censorship that the US often criticizes China for and other parts of the world for. And this poses a question that if TikTok can be banned, right, what stops the US in the future banning other platforms that it feels like it can't control? So this isn't just about banning TikTok itself. It's a much greater issue than that. It's about the idea of digital freedom in the 21st century. I think this is a time we need to adapt now that TikTok is banned from the US. A lot of people are saying that using VPNs are now a way to bypass the TikTok ban. However, we know that this is a short-term solution, and eventually the US government will clock on if many users are doing that. Another way that you can bypass this issue or adapt to this issue is actually migrating to other platforms. So, we have meta platforms such as Instagram, Facebook. We also have YouTube Shorts as well. So you can migrate your content into those platforms or just start fresh. Use on those platforms. And there's also as well just speaking in front of the camera, YouTube, right? I know it's not as trendy, but it creates a long-standing community of people who actually care about your content and who you are, besides just the trendy use of platforms like TikTok, right? And you can also create that community. And this TikTok ban is not the end for you, especially if you're using it to make money, right? Or to build a community. You can start over. You can form a new community and just use other platforms. Don't give up on your creative dream, okay? Just to conclude, at the end of the day, TikTok isn't just about the politics or the profit. It's actually about the people. This TikTok ban goes beyond us, not the US citizens, not being able to use the platform. It was about the connection and the community that is now lost for people. And now it leaves people wondering what to do next, right? And TikTok was a platform that made people laugh, made people cry, made people relate to each other. And it's so sad that the US citizens are experiencing this ban, and your livelihood is gone, at least temporarily, right? And I feel sorry for them. And this isn't just going to affect them, it's going to affect everyone globally. Jobs, income, TikTok is a platform that gave people a second chance, a way to, quit their 9-to-5 and start something new, a way to tell their story, right? This is beyond just the app being gone. It's people's lives being shattered. And it's such a shame that this is happening, but I hope this is truly a temporary ban for the US citizens, and this platform can be restored. Guys, whilst editing this, I just saw that now TikTok is back. So it was a temporary ban. I'm so happy that the TikTok users are back. I'm definitely going to make an updated video after this one. I'm just so happy that US citizens are back on the TikTok platform. Oh my God, this is amazing. Anyways, I'm glad you guys watched the video, and I'll see you in the next one.
We have some huge breaking news right now. TikTok is back online in the US, as you could tell from my ability to even post this video.